is one from John Plehal. We are hoping over time to hear stories of how our outreach fund is being used and how those interactions with those in our community are going. And so John has the first story to share with us this morning about one of those gifts. John.
I never thought I'd say this, but I wish I had bigger ears. When you put a mask on top of eyeglasses, on top of hearing aids, somehow you run out of room. Good morning. A couple months ago, around Thanksgiving, I got a call from Pastor Greg saying that he had received a call from a woman named Kenesha who was asking for financial assistance because she had lost her sister unexpectedly down in Kentucky and didn't have gas money to get back for helping out with the family and the funeral. And he said, this seems like it would be an ideal candidate for our outreach fund, which was created last year. And in that it's a immediate need, it's somebody outside the church, it's an individual, not an organization. And it's not for a church member outside the walls. So I said, sure, I'll do that, and coordinated with the other members of the prospective outreach team, Skaar and Nancy Wagner, and we didn't have funds yet, so I just went and bought a $100 gas card at Kwik Trip, and Greg had given me the number for Kenesha. So I went to her house, and she's a single mom with 3 kids living here. She's working, but didn't have the money. And I got the same story that she'd given Greg. And I emphasize story because to this day I still don't know if it's true. And that started making me feel kind of awkward. It's like, oh wow, I started this ruckus and I can't, I still have some trepidation about giving away the money even though it's not mine. But we talked and it just seemed like the right thing to do, and I suppose that those of you that have ever taken a wild animal and nursed it back to care and released it out into the wild again, you never know what's going to happen, if it's going to be eaten by a fox in the first day or whatever. And so I didn't really know whether her story was true. It made me feel a little awkward to be giving her money, but I said, this is what it's all about, let's do it. And as soon as I gave her the check, or actually it was a Kwik Trip card, I felt this kind of release, and it was an interesting emotion, and that was the last we've heard from her. I don't know what Kenesha's story is anymore. I think she's probably still in Red Wing. She'd probably do that, but the story about me is that it was a worthwhile experience, and so I know that 5 or 6 other in the congregation since then have come in to get cards or food cards for Randy or Walmart cash gift cards or Kwik Trip cards that we have in the office, and so those have been given out, and I think you'll hear those stories coming up in the next weeks. But for those of you that have doubts about this, well, one thing, keep your eyes open. There's plenty of needs out there. And secondly, I encourage you to take the leap, get a card, give it away to somebody, and see what emotions you have. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, John, for sharing your story, and we look forward to hearing more stories about how we reach out to our community.